Let's bring in Oklahoma Governor Kevin Stitt. Governor Stitt, thank you for this. We've been kind of chopping this up, but as Liz Peek just reminded us, this is from Peter Ducey's report. The federal government wants to federalize the Texas National Guard. Now, I know you're the governor of Oklahoma, the great state of Oklahoma, so you could be next because you're right on top of Texas if my geography is right. You're just north of Texas, and you've got one side wants to add barbed wire and the other side wants to cut barbed wire, and they're arguing about the Constitution in the middle. Governor Kevin Stitt, thank you for coming on. Can you clear this up for us?
Well, first off, thanks for having me on. Just like you, Oklahomans, we can't figure out what Joe Biden is doing. And I think one of your guests said this, but the razor wire, there's 28 points of entry along the southern border that you can legally seek immigration. All we're saying is don't illegally cross. And that's what the razor wire is for. That's what the barrier is for. And the fact that Joe Biden is cutting the razor wire to let people into the country, I mean, that's a head scratcher for Oklahomans, and I think most Americans. We don't know what's happening down there.
If there's I mean, this is kind of a constitutional issue. I'm not a constitutional lawyer. Maybe you are, but I just want to ask, if it's clear that the federal government is not doing its job and abrogating its responsibility to protect the country with boundaries and sovereignty and so forth, is it legal constitutionally, in your judgment, Governor, that the states have to do it? I mean, that is an argument, and I think it's a pretty powerful argument that's out there. What do you think?
Yeah, no, we totally stand with Governor Abbott. I think 25 Republican governors have agreed. We sent a letter support of Governor Abbott's position, Article 1. The states created the federal government. Mm-hmm. And of course, we have the right to defend our state. And that's exactly what Abbott's doing. Oklahoma is going to stand with Texas. But again, I'm so happy you guys are sharing this. I've been to the border, and all that we're trying to do is keep illegal immigrants from crossing illegally. Go to one of the ports of entry. Let's do it legally. We need back to the Trump's policy to remain in Mexico so we can stop this migration that's coming. Again, most of this stuff is just common sense for 95% of Americans, and Joe Biden is just turning this country upside down.
I mean, as a governor down there, you're pretty close to the border, but as a governor in Oklahoma, what will you do? What can you do? What have you been doing? Like being on the ground, a curbside view of this disaster. What steps can you take in Oklahoma and other governors? I mean, I know Texas and Arizona, you know, they're right on the front lines. I get that. But as Liz Peek said a few moments ago, this has become a national every state issue. In other words, illegal immigration is showing up in the Iowa caucuses, is showing up in the New Hampshire primary. There are even issues about the northern border, Governor Stitt, as you may know about. The potential that terrorists are going to come in over that border, which is rather porous.
Yeah. Well, first off, I've already sent our National Guard to the southern border in support of Governor Abbott. I think 10 or 11 other governors have done that. We're looking at doing it again. So, again, Texas, Oklahoma, we're having to spend state tax dollars to defend against the fentanyl crisis, the potential terrorists that are coming across the southern border. And again, the feds just aren't doing their job. But I want Americans, they've got to understand they're cutting the barrier and letting people in. That's what the Joe Biden and the Democrats are advocating for. And it's just a head scratcher, I think, to most Americans. We don't understand why would they do that? Why wouldn't we want secure borders? The last time when I flew to Mexico, guess what? I had to land at an airport of a port of entry. And guess what? They had to check my passport to make sure they know who was coming into their country. Everybody does that.
Oh, we don't do that. The United States doesn't do that anymore. I think we used to do that. I mean, yes, but I don't think we do that anymore. So you have no common sense, Governor. You want them to check your passport. Next thing you know, you're going to want a photo on their ID cards. I don't know. Tough stuff. Somehow all that was missing from Biden's offer. Anyway, Governor Kevin Stitt from the great state of Oklahoma, we appreciate it, sir. It's good to see you again.
Yeah, thanks so much.